Hello, and welcome to Conversation English Beginners. This is a Viking story to help you practice English. The story is simple and made for beginners. Listen, relax, and learn English step by step. A long, long time ago, about 1,200 years ago, there were people called the Vikings. They lived in the north of Europe, in a place called Scandinavia. Today, this is Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Their land had many mountains, forests, and long coasts by the sea. The sea was very important for their life. The Vikings were the best sailors of their time. They built special boats called longships. These ships were long, narrow, and very fast. They could sail on the open sea and also on very shallow rivers. The front of the ship often had a scary dragon head. This was to frighten enemies and bad spirits. They used big sails, but they also had oars, long wooden sticks, to row when there was no wind. In these ships, they could travel very far from their home. The Vikings traveled for three main reasons. To trade, they were good traders. They took things like furs, whalebone, and amber from the north. They sailed to other countries to trade these for things they wanted, like silver, silk, spices, and beautiful glass. To find new land, in Scandinavia, good farming land was not easy to find. Sometimes, there were too many people for one family farm. So, young Vikings sailed to find new places to live. They started farms in Iceland, Greenland, and even a place in Canada called Newfoundland. To raid, sometimes in the summer, groups of Viking warriors went on raids. They sailed quickly to coastal villages or monasteries in places like England, Scotland, and France. They took gold, silver, food, and other valuable things. They were very fierce fighters, and people in Europe were very afraid of their surprise attacks. When they were not traveling, Vikings were mostly farmers. They lived in big family houses called longhouses. These houses were made of wood, stone, or earth, with a roof of straw. Inside, it was one big room. In the center, there was a long fire for cooking and heat. On the sides, there were places to sit, work, and sleep. The animals, like cows or goats, sometimes lived in the same building during the very cold winter. Men worked on the farm, hunted, and fished. Women took care of the home. The children cooked and made clothes, spinning wool, weaving cloth. The Vikings had many gods and exciting stories about them, which we call myths. Odin was the king of the gods. He had only one eye and two ravens that brought him news from all over the world. He was the god of wisdom and war. Thor was the god of thunder, very strong and popular. He had a magic hammer called Mjolnir. The Vikings thought thunder was the sound of Thor's chariot in the sky. Freya was the goddess of love and beauty, but she was also a powerful warrior. They believed that brave warriors who died in battle would go to a great hall called Valhalla. The Viking Age lasted for about 300 years. Slowly, things changed. Many Vikings became Christian and stopped believing in the old gods. The kings in Scandinavia became more powerful. The time of the big raids ended. But the Vikings did not disappear. So, the Vikings were much more than just warriors with helmets. They didn't actually have horns on their helmets. They were farmers, explorers, traders, and skilled crafters who left a big mark on the world.